So I'm going to start by going ahead and introducing myself and then letting you introduce yourself.
Okay.
So my name is Abby Lovett. I am our interim coordinator for the Veterans History Project at the Samuel Proctor Oral History Program with the University of Florida. This is also done in conjunction with the Library of Congress's Veterans History Project. And today's date is June 30th, 2022.
Okay.
I'm in the Chappie James Museum in Pensacola, Florida, and I'm joined by Mr. McDuffie. If you could go ahead and introduce yourself and spell your name for us.
Hello, my name is Joseph. My full name is Joseph Earl Jackson McDuffie. You spell McDuffie, M-C-D-U-F-F-I-E.
Perfect. And where were you born and when?
I was born in Evergreen, Alabama in 1949.
Okay. And,
in a little town, Owasso, Alabama, right in the little city of Evergreen, Alabama.
Cool. And could you tell me a little bit about your parents, what their jobs were, and?
My father was a sharecropper in Evergreen, and he went into the United States Navy. His name was Rayfield McDuffie. He was one of the first, third, maybe a fourth or fifth. They called them frogmen back then.
Okay. Was he involved in World War II?
Yeah, and he's kind of controversial. Yeah, the way things happen. As we were at the time we were living in Alabama, which had a lot of racial issues at that time.
So could you tell me a little bit more about that? Because I know the Navy wasn't known particularly for being ahead of the times on integration issues.
Well, my father basically went through the program, and after he came back is where the problem began. And my mom, they didn't actually get a chance to get married, but they were intended to get married before she got raped. By the Ku Klux Klan. So I'm wondering if that's permissible to say that, or?
Oh, absolutely. We're not trying to clean up.
Yeah, I'm going to give it to you straightforward. I'm not going to run and hide anything, good or bad, because I know I'm a miracle.
Right.
I'm a blessed person. But, you know, through trials and tribulations, I don't have any resentments of anything that I went through. I have some remorse on some things when I went through the Marine Corps, of course. I had some, problems there, a couple of bad marriages, but after all, it's all good. It's all good, but that part of the military was like a salvation for a lot of young black men, and my father would tell me, because at that time you would pick cotton, corn, and whatever that was domestic work, and that's where a lot of champions come from, the farm. A lot of presidents, you got a lot of people that had trials and tribulations, but I had some good days and some bad days in the military, but ain't nothing like our military. I learned, I was military educated. The United States Marine Corps taught me everything. Everything that I know.
Yeah. I'm excited to get into hearing a little bit more about your military experience. I wanted to ask a little bit more about your family background, though, like with the sharecropping.
Yeah.
What was that experience like? What was your father's relationship like with the landlord there, and were you guys able to make any money off the sharecropping?
Basically, we existed. And that's basically that way it was. My grandfather was a Tuskegee Airman, and he used to tell me about it when I was a kid, and that's how I really found out about the Tuskegee Airmen, because he was a cook at the time and a part mechanic. because you had probably two MOSs when you went in, and it was an all-black corps back then, so everybody pretty much had to have two backgrounds and what they were doing, because there was an island by themselves basically, all except for I equate the development of the United States Marine Corps and the military itself. There were some racial issues at the time, and some of them, I was one that graduated from Paris Island in 1969, and it wasn't any time out. We had some racial issues, but not many, because once they would train you in a different area, you was trained in so many areas, you didn't have time to focus on anybody else, on retribution or anything. You were trained in just so many things. They might teach you how to make bombs. They might teach you how to surveillance. It wasn't just like you see this stuff in TV. A lot of people don't realize the content of what the Marine Corps do. They can train you anywhere. You can be anywhere with a matter of hours. It doesn't take days, a matter of hours. They put you on a cattle flight or a truck flight or a cattle truck or whatever. They will get you where the Navy. Being in the Marine Corps, you travel on ships a lot. USS Enterprise, USS Raleigh, those ships, things like that, that you would be trained on. Trained a lot with the Army, the 82nd Airborne. They trained us with the Imperial Navy from Britain, and a few other Secret Service things, which I can't divulge. I'm still under oath with that. So the domestic work in Alabama, I would help my grandmother and grandfather, because at the time the Klan was after us. So my father had to leave. He couldn't come back to Alabama in about 20 or 30 years.
This is after his military service. He couldn't return.
After he couldn't come back, because they were looking for us. Matter of fact, we had to leave, and we went to it was as I can remember, the Masonics hid us, and because out of Evergreen to Baker, Florida, on a mule wagon. That was Masons. My grandfather was a Mason also. It's 33rd Mason, and they after they burned the house down, and that's some things that by trials and tribulations you find out what it is to be a man and what it is to be an American. If you honor yourself, honor your country, those things are all part of a building nation. Whether it's 400 years of slavery, we understand that. But when you're building a country or a nation like we have, there's still some deficiencies, but there ain't none like it. And I can truly say this. Coming up, I was a sharecropper. I had a wagon, a little wagon about so big, and I started to have what we call a country hustler. Down to the bank of Evergreen, and I would shine shoes, and I would sell peanuts, popcorn, Kool-Aid, iced lemon tea, crackling bread, rice and beans, because at that particular time there were a lot of people in Alabama were doing paper logging, and all the paper loggers, they didn't have a convenience store in the woods, so I'd get beside the railroad track there in Evergreen, where the train would come by, and they would load those logs on those trains, and those guys would would buy my product off the little red wagon, and I made a lot of money that way. And also in a little town called Baker, Florida, that's about 54 miles from here. I used to went to Baker High School, but I transferred to Mobile. I went to Baker High School in Baker, Florida. There was some good people. The principal, it's a white principal called Mr. Doug Griffith was his name, and that's the first time that was integrated. It was integration. I had a little problem with one of the coaches there, and I was playing football, and Baker's one of the best little towns. It's kind of like Mayberry RFD. Everybody knew everybody.
Oh yeah.
You had some black goobers and some white goobers. everybody knew each other, and it was the particular coach at the time. He was from some part of Alabama that he didn't like. But anyway, I knew Mr. Griffith because I was the only little kid, black kid, that I had my own little merchant account. And he would kind of help me because we didn't get no food stamps back then. And I had my own thing going. And instead of doing the racial riot thing, I just transferred to Central High School in Mobile, Alabama. And that's where I left there, and I graduated from Central High School in Mobile, Alabama. And thereafter, I got a note from the federal government.
Oh no.
For the draft, and I wanted to hide and go to play football at the college, University of Alabama or University of Florida, and my uncle said, "You better go." And because so I was late reporting, so I begged the people at the there in Crestview, Florida. I said, "I'm late. I got that draft notice." I said, "I'm late." He said, "Well, you don't want to go. You don't want to go to Leavenworth. What you want to do is just get." And he made a call, and my call was number 36. And the people from wherever they were calling from, so you going to the United States? I said, "What? I'm going to where? You're going to the slaughterhouse, right?"
Yeah, that's
the slaughterhouse. Back then, and when I got to Parris Island, South Carolina, I remember it was August 14, 1969. It was about 39 of us. Someone was in chain because they was draft dodging. But they put us all in the, car. Then after we got to Atlanta, they sent us to South Carolina, Beaufort, South Carolina. And then they gave us numbers. I remember my number now. It's 260-4036, Marine, trainee. Late, draft dodger. I said, "Draft dodger?" Said, "The matter of fact that you didn't answer the letter when we wanted to, we got you now." I said, "No," and then when they did, they dropped it. So they said, "Well, you can't do nothing because you want." I said, "Sir, I'm not," and they got slapped in the mouth. Back then they could whoop you.
Yeah.
See, and I got a thing right there where he spit me.
I see.
Open right there.
Wow.
So you couldn't snitch, because if you did, and Marine Corps back then, they give you a code.
A code?
A code, yeah, a code. If they tell you, they want to give you a soap code, water code, anything. But those things, and then they would give you a good, complete history of the Marine Corps Army, Navy, Air Force, and then they gave you interview if you wanted to transfer. If you want to get your time, your expiration up out of the Marine Corps. If you want to go to the Air Force, you want to go. Well, I was so beat up, I didn't have to. And they offered me a commission. I turned it down because I was so beat up, you know, for doing what I had to do.
Right.
We had some very difficult days back then. It was just only Vietnam. I went to Kuwait. That was a covert operation. And the things that back then there was so many of us, we were very well trained. There was something like 5,000 of us.
Wow.
Out of Marine Corps training, it was like 5,000 of us in the unit. I think 2,000 made it.
Ouch.
Made it to graduation.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Out of 5,000.
Wow. That's pretty intense. What happens to the people who don't make it?
They got a mental discharge, a medical discharge. Some of them killed themselves.
And was suicide something that?
Yeah, suicide. Something that Hollywood make a lot of things kind of difficult, but most of the time, if somebody got hurt or killed, basically you would know it because they would. Marine Corps is very discreet. It's not like all of the services are good, but anything back then, I don't know too much now about what they do in the Corps and how they do it now. But back then, the situation, you can't call time out now.
Right.
Back then, you couldn't call time out, but they can call time out now. There's no such thing as time. That's a time out. No. What was that? That was a butt whooping.
Right.
You know, they would mock you, you a sissy, you know, you going home, buddy.
Sure.
That's just the way it was. But now, I guess we got more, you know, smart bombs, military equipment. That's all good too, but ain't nothing like a human, you know, executing this thing, because if it's bad weather, some systems fail, and you're in trouble.
Or, you know, you get the wrong target because you're leading it to a machine, and
yeah, your GPS is off and you're exposed.
Yep. So I know you said this was a covert operation in Kuwait. Is there any details you can share with me about what you were doing there? Are you allowed?
No, I can't.
Okay, I see.
I can't.
That's okay.
Once you take the oath on different things, because I don't want the government coming after me. I'm already disabled. Matter of fact, I'm a disabled vet, and I'm still waiting on some of my benefits now.
Oh, man.
But anyway, it's all good. As long as I hold up. First, I got a little upset about it, but I look at it as a whole. We're not in the Ukraine. We're not in Afghanistan. We're not in the Sudan. We're not in the deep parts of Russia or any other part of the world right now. And you do have a chance. And that's very, very important. Right. But when I learned about what General Chappie James had done, my grandfather instilled that in me, and it don't make no difference. As long as you can breathe, you can make it. You know, as long as you can, you know, think and always refresh your mind. You got to keep your mind fresh. Everything you do. And he told me, say, grandson, and my father told me too, always know that you matter and you count.
Someone's got to tell you that. I mean, because the world isn't always going to give you that impression.
That's right.
So you just mentioned your grandfather talking about Chappie James. Was that when you were younger, and was that someone that you looked up to then?
When I was a young kid, yeah. My grandfather was in the United States Army.
Was he involved in any conflicts or any major?
Yeah, our granddaddy got shot in the back.
Wow.
But he lived, and he was he was a good man. I'm not just saying that because it was my grandfather.
Sure.
Somebody that was very well, had perseverance. We didn't have transportation back then. And he would walk he would get groceries. I think he got $125 a month out of 12 people. Sometime 14, maybe sometime 15, because my grandmother, she would feed strangers.
Sure.
And that would just tee me off to the tilt. I said, well, you don't know these people. Yeah. He said, no, you black and you had some whites. The Gilcreases. I remember that. And they used to eat chitlins.
Okay.
And they come by me because we had what we had, we shared.
Right.
I don't care if it was a deer or a hog or what it was, a cow. We always split. They call them, I remember some of the people that called themselves that had made it. They'd always call me, why you, I'm gonna give it to you straight, like I got it.
Please.
There was some niggas, there was some WNs called white niggas.
Okay, I've heard a similar type of term before.
WNs. Why you down there for what are you doing, WNs? But during the winter months, if you didn't store stuff, and the Gilcreases and the Jameses, we all put stuff together, whether potatoes or whatever. We had a big smokehouse. You know what a smokehouse is?
Oh, we
had a big smokehouse.
For meat.
They would, for meat, potatoes. You would smoke everything, and Granddaddy he would always tell us about how the Tuskegee Airmen were flying these planes and shooting down jets and stuff, and Granddaddy, you don't know what you're talking about. And I wish I had some of that memorabilia that he had, because he to not have, I think Granddaddy had about a 5th or 6th grade education, but he was very, and he knew history. And that's what basically I knew, and my uncle, he knew history. And they used to teach us all about some important things, little small things in life that run the whole country. And I learned, he said, you know what, if you can be the smallest thing and be the smartest thing as being in the Marine Corps, the Army, Navy, wherever, he'd say, look, a rubber tree is one of the most important things that run the whole world. Without that rubber, you're not gonna fly. You're not gonna operate, you're not gonna ride in your car. Because those things, electrical power, you gotta have rubber. You can't just pick up a live cable, you got rubber cables, rubber shoes, tires, operating material, hospital, all of that. Building materials. And I've had a very interesting life. I had a productive life, but it was not easy.
No.
And you have a few moments that's good in your life, but 2/3 of them basically controversial. And especially if you're not able to regain your sobriety of your mind after sickness. I had cancer before.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Was that
after? I got that benzene while I was at Camp Lejeune. I got it in my system, and got part of my lung. And the reason I'm saying I'm a miracle, and in 2003, I just stopped breathing.
Wow.
And they had to resuscitate me. I was on the machine for about 7 days. They didn't know whether I was going to live or die. And I had gotten in the, I owe a lot to this doctor, Dr. John Bray. He's a lung specialist. And they brought me back, and I thank God for that, being in the Marine Corps. And he told me that they need to give you something as far as your disability is concerned, because you didn't get that. I said, well, so I applied for it, never did get it. I had like 3 heart operations, both by fiber. They didn't split me open, they used fiber optics.
Oh, okay, like a camera.
Yeah,
Okay.
and they did like that, and I had a heart attack, I didn't know it. I'm walking around, all I know, I was tired.
Right, I've heard that before.
Yeah, I was just tired, but anyway, I got over that, and then from some stuff I had breathed while I was from them guns, that damaged me. And it caused me to have kidney damage. I was supposed to have been on dialysis 5 years ago, but somehow he partially healed itself. I still need some kidneys, but partially they healed.
So what is you're not on dialysis now then? You're just and not awaiting any kind of
I'm waiting for a kidney
transplant.
Yeah.
And what's that experience been like? Have doctors been helpful, and have they been keeping you looped in?
Yeah, they've been keeping me. Have a pill they give you now. You don't have to. Some of the people do that, but a lot of people killing people that way.
Yeah.
You go on dialysis, that should be your last resort.
Yeah.
Especially if you've been in the Marine Corps, you got high stress. And plus, that made it a little worse. When I got out, I wanted to be a police officer, but I changed my mind and worked at the Tallahassee Fire Department.
Oh, cool.
I worked at Tallahassee Fire. I was one of the first black firefighters in Tallahassee, and that was in 1973. I graduated academy in 75.
Okay. In 75, that was which academy? The firefighting?
Yeah, firefighting.
Okay.
Tallahassee Fire Department.
Cool. And so you said you wanted to be a police officer, but you changed
the guy
your
told
mind.
me at the time, racism was hard.
Oh.
The guy told me I was too short.
Oh. What's that code for?
I told him, I said, I jump out of planes. I said, I jumped in the Marine Corps, Recon Division. That's what I was in. So I jumped out of planes, I climbed buildings, and I was in real good shape because I was coming off the farm,
Oh, sure.
I was in real good shape. So, and
it's just an excuse.
he told me because I was 5'8", he told me I was too short.
That's strange. I have a feeling that's code for something.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
I looked at him, I told him, I said, I know what that's all about. I said, sir, excuse me, let me get out.
Yeah, that's all
he told me, first he told me, pull my shoes off, right? So he measured me, put me in the thing where they put the line up.
Sure.
He said, you're 5'8", you're too short.
That's not even particularly short.
No, that's average.
Pretty average. Yeah, that's pretty strange.
But he didn't want me, so I owe a lot to, you can put this in there, this guy's name was Chief Earl Levy. Tallahassee, one of the best fire chiefs the United States could ever have at that time, because he was under pressure not to hire any black veterans, but he did anyway.
That's great.
We were like, it was like the first I think it was first 35 blacks. We graduated there from that. Both we qualified for federal and state. Matter of fact, I have one certificate out there in the thing. I take a look at it. You learn a lot there.
I bet.
The firefighters now, that's a real dangerous job now.
It is.
Because you got different grades of materials. You know, go in these buildings now, cyanide poison and hydrous ammonia, all this stuff. It's not just like I'm going down to throw a bucket of.
Right.
And the only thing about that I believe that Marine Corps helped me out like that, because if you 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning from a dead sleep and that alarm goes off, your heart goes into.
Right. You're already ready to go.
But the Marine Corps, they taught you to wake up in 5 seconds.
Right, and be fully there.
Be fully ready to go, because you weren't able to work up. And then I received a lot of, I've never seen so many shots before. Our first week, we took 15 shots. And one of the shots, we had a reaction. Some of the guys had reactions to them back then, especially anthrax shots.
Okay. I didn't know that was something that they vaccinated for?
Yeah,
Interesting.
Anthrax.
Interesting.
They told me, they said, well, where we going? As a matter of fact, Kuwait was bad about anthrax. The germ in the dirt, in the sand. Yeah, it comes from the dirt. Anthrax. I imagine so many germs, and that's dry, and they said, well, you can take it or not. I said, well, I got to take it. I don't want nothing.
I'd rather take the vaccine and the side effects than deal with catching that.
But you know, I equate this, the military and the Department of Veterans Affairs, they need to get on their job. I'm not going to say anything against my country, because I come from Africa, but I bled a couple of quarts of blood, and my father and my grandfather, they bled blood for this country. So I'm just saying, just be equal to everybody, and don't cherry pick. I don't have to get up on television and march to threaten you, to make things right. Because this country is a great nation.
It is.
A great nation, but you got certain sectors and certain cells of people that think that they're entitled because they'll say it race or something, and that's not good. Because I learned one thing when I was in the Marine Corps. We were in France.
Okay. After Kuwait? Okay.
We went to France for rest and recuperation, R&R. And I'll be a little candid by this.
Please.
But a bunch of crazy Marines, black, white, whatever, we all Marines. And it was this French girl. She said to me, she said, do y'all grow tails?
I've heard this before.
I mean, that's poison, right? So what I did, by me being crazy as I was, Marine Corps.
Oh no.
Yes, I did. I took my pants down. Yes, I mooned her real good.
Yeah, I've heard this before, and it's so from other veterans, other black veterans, that it was maybe something white Americans tell the locals. Was that what your experience was?
Yeah,
that
I had a rough time getting rid of her after she's no how to have no tail. And she like my muscles, She said, like, I love your muscles. well, you think you don't have no tail? I said, well, you live with that. She came out there to the base looking for me. Every time I thought it was a Marine. She didn't talk. I said, no. I said, no, you don't believe that. She wrote me a stack of letters like that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because she was into me.
That's funny. Well,
I said, no, and I got ignorant. I got really irate. I said, no, don't bother me. I said, I'm from Alabama. I'm a coon and I got a tail.
Like, that is just absurd. That is absurd. It's funny that once she knew you didn't, she was all over it.
Yeah, she was all over me with that. And I said, well, what are you doing?
That is funny.
Yeah, I'm fatting out, basically. I got a lot of muscles there.
Oh, I'm sure football, Marines, I'm sure.
Yeah, she just went just crazy. She bought a bunch of other ladies out there at the base in France who was getting ready to go on the ship. She was trying to get on the ship. Come back, I know where you at, I'm coming to America.
That's funny.
Yeah.
It's like coming at you, Alabama.
Yeah, I'm from Alabama, I got a tail. She didn't like that.
Man.
She did not like that.
That is funny. How long were you in France for? 2 weeks?
Rescue crew, 3 weeks we were there.
Okay.
Yeah, because, they gave you an evaluation.
Okay.
Yeah, because, I had some guys that was loony.
Well,
really fruitcakes.
Yeah. Well, and especially after because I'm assuming there was combat that you were seeing in Kuwait, so that would probably bring that out if someone had those tendencies.
And then at that time they was hating. They was hating on President Nixon.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, they was hating on President Nixon.
Was that something that you were hearing other troops that you were with?
I mean, it was all over from the officers. I had one guy. CIA. On the covert thing, we worked basically with CIA. A few other internationals. It's kind of like military Interpol.
Okay. I see.
International location.
Was this linked with, and if you can't answer it, that's okay. Was this linked with CIA operatives in Laos at the time? Was it a similar operation?
That was in, I think I'll be safe to say out of France.
Okay.
I'm safe to do that.
Okay, so that might have been why the France trip was incorporated also.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So how long were you in Kuwait for? And then you did your R&R, and then did you go back to Kuwait?
And I got to be kind of an environmentalist. But the one thing I learned along the way, and that was really...
I think I was there for about 45 days.
Okay.
It's really
45 days.
I don't know where it came from.
And that's in the recon division.
Okay.
Everything is connected to everything else.
Were you on the ground, or were you doing
whether it was in the woods,
The native
ground,
and my mother was...
plain clothes.
And my grandmother was part creature.
A lot of people think you in combat gear, you walk around out there looking at, no.
Right.
You walk among people.
Covert?
That's what they're doing now.
Interesting.
So basically now it's basically easy to catch people. Now,
Holistic approach to that.
As far as the CIA recon efforts?
Federal Bureau, Interpol.
Right, they've got really good monitoring, especially with all of the digital
cameras.
age. Yeah.
They got their satellites. Now they have satellites now, and that's how they got Bin Laden.
Satellites?
That's satellite, yeah. So that's what I'm trying to say is the military now is you're gonna eventually have to have manpower and a group of people that really know how to do, because machines can do so much and that's it. but you're going to have the human factor.
Right.
And I appreciate everything that I have learned in the military. I got my education in the military. When I left school in Mobile, Alabama, my reading skills wasn't what it was. They sent me to school. I learned.
This is after your service. You went to
While in service.
Oh, in service. Okay. What kind of things were you learning about other than
about economics.
Oh, sure.
Surveillance. Statistician work.
Okay.
Observation. It's a lot of things. People think that the Marine Corps is back then. I hate to say it, but basically a group of educated, trained killers. That's what it was, and I think that's why a lot of people hated Vietnam vets. They hated us for calling us baby killers and a few other things, but that's not necessarily so. That's what they taught you to do.
No, and you're drafted. It's not.
Drafted. You know, you had to do one thing about the Marine Corps. If you just obeyed, somebody gave you an order, they shoot you right there.
Right.
So you didn't have no question talking about.
Right. No, it's not something you didn't put yourself in this situation.
You can't. You got to do what they tell you to do.
So you went to Kuwait, did your R&R in France, and then did you go back to Kuwait or back to the United States?
I had a little overnight stint in Vietnam, a couple of body bags, and it wasn't so much Agent Orange killing people. It was phosphorus.
And do you think that had a relationship with your health issues?
Yeah, white phosphorus.
White phosphorus.
Because it was on the boats, it was in the guns, it was on the helicopters. That's why they outlawed it, because they don't use it now. Back then they would do it in the swamp. If you go.
Yeah. Was it like an for the killing the foliage, like Agent Orange was?
Yeah. Not only white phosphorus eat through things, eat through mold, vegetables, trees, tanks, any type of thing that's in the air, and drink it in the water. You got it's in it could just eat away.
Yeah. So let me ask you a few specific questions about Vietnam.
Sure.
Like, where were you original? What was your first permanent duty station there?
Phnom Penh.
Okay. And what were you on search and destroy missions, or what were your assignments like?
Most time you didn't know.
Okay.
Until you got to where you had to go. Then they would divulge what you need to do. But it wasn't none of that.
Right.
When they send you to an area until you acclimate yourself to the area, and then they'll tell you, hey, this is this and this is that. But just taking straight order and go to a destination, because it could be changed any day, any time.
You're not questioning it. You can't.
You can't. I mean, hey, I know what this looks kind of strange here. What are you?
Where are you sending us?
What's going on?
Right.
And so a lot of times, these drugs. A lot of guys was on drugs.
Yeah.
I didn't do drugs. I did liquor.
Yep. It was. I think.
Wild turkey.
Wild turkey.
I call her Miss Wild. My woman.
Okay.
My woman was Miss Wild Turkey.
Wow. Was that just on the downtime when you'd go into like a village or?
We had it on you.
Oh,
Yeah, because you use it for cuts.
Oh, sure.
Mosquitoes. I mean,
Sure.
Sometimes you be so funky.
Right. My
Wash your.
yeah, disinfecting.
Yeah,
No, that's true. I could see. I've never heard someone say
that. You don't have no toilet paper, you go burn your butt.
What else you gonna do?
Burn butt, bugs or worms, or rot foot. you know.
Do you think that was a pretty widespread thing as far as like people having substance use problems brought on
Yeah,
by
they had a
Vietnam?
lot because the Red Chinese, they had drugs, they had women, female carrier disease. That's why a lot of films they would show you, and some people would get that stuff from them women. They call it black gonorrhea or whatever it was. It looked like somebody's taking a shotgun and there's thousands of little holes in between you.
Yeah.
And they're all over, you know. So that was an experience that if you were high natured, you were in trouble.
Right.
Excuse my expression, you masturbated a lot.
Yeah, because you can't.
Yeah, because, you get that. Some guys didn't even come home.
Right, it's just from contact with things, and it's so widespread.
Then they'll tell you, what happened to my son? Mission in action. They want to tell you you can't bring the body home because he full of that stuff,
That's really interesting. I've never heard someone talk about this particular issue. Do you think that there was any kind of an effort to undermine the U.S. soldiers there by exposing them to these venereal diseases and drugs? You think that was a
that's a strategy.
Strategy.
It's kind of like Satan, he offer you the world, but he wants your head.
Right. But that temptation, especially when you're dealing with so much stress, you have to.
And then again, too, you can put this down in your journal. Marital life. In military, before and after, if you don't have someone to counsel and put you under a classification, you're going to have bad marital problems, you're going to have mental problems, and especially if you marry a man or woman that don't understand life, that makes it complicated. Because I can tell you, like I told you, I'm going to tell you what everything is. I don't have nothing to hide. The maladjustment problems when I came home. I got fooled around. I got married, and it wasn't
my Uncle Spencer Beard.
privilege to have a particular job. That's why I go back to the fire department. That's why Chief Levy hired some Marines. Most people was afraid to hire Marines. But, you might have some guys that go off, shoot up, blow up stuff. But on the whole, Vietnam vets, they do nothing. Most of the time you find them beside the road, dead. Don't smoke themselves or drink themselves to death, but nothing that's detrimental toward this country.
I was going to say, if they're hurting anybody, it's themselves.
They just hurt themselves.
Yeah,
it's
sad.
A few months ago there, one of the guys out there on the thing, he was a Army though, but he just passed away under the bridge.
Breaks my heart.
That once those are the kind of things that the court system, the United States Congress, they need to take a fair assessment and classification. What I mean by classification, what level of understanding this person is going to be. Automatically, in this issue, I'm glad you put this down, automatically, when a veteran comes out, he's not going to have good credit to buy a home. The average bank is average credit score when he gets out. It's about 450 or 500. I don't care if you're white or black. And that's the thing that the Veterans Administration, they need to be, all of them need to be redone and make another assessment, because a lot of veterans, they have wives, some of them on food stamps, and there's a lot of problems in the system. I know some veterans now that's going through with it. I'm one of the counselors at my church.
What's your church?
George R. Williams.
You don't know Marcus Point Baptist Church?
Oh, okay. I'm very familiar. I'm from Pensacola, so
Okay.
so yes.
Well, I'm gonna invite you Sunday then, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that'd be great. I live in Gainesville most of the time, but my family's here, so I'm up in Pensacola a lot.
Yeah,
I like you guys do the pumpkin sale, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, over there. You've been there, right?
Oh, for sure. I had a friend.
Always loved children.
Yeah, it's mixed, it's over there, and then I got a group with Pastor Godfrey.
Cool.
Short.
Cool. He probably couldn't be a police officer either.
You have a lot of policemen come there to the church. Then we talk about that a lot. You got the veterans, some of them at church. They have not just problems, but they need to be known that some of them have families and they can't afford the affordability of their family, and it causes a lot of it causes a lot of hardship. And I think in order for us to keep a strong military, they need to take care of us, and we do at church. We do take, because Pastor Godfrey, he's a very progressive man, but he's a conservative in his own way. But he's progressive. He understands the issues of the military. And we had military 2 months ago. Yeah, we had evaluation. And I really appreciate what you guys are doing.
Absolutely.
And I'm a little speaker. I have I first started off, I got an honorary degree in economics, and I got it from the House of God under a bishop, Daniel Campbell, out at University of Cincinnati, School of Theology. And then after that, I got one, my own, and theology. Yeah.
Okay. In theology. Was that also in Cincinnati?
I got one here, and that was in Cincinnati and Savannah, Georgia.
Oh, did you like Savannah?
Yeah, Savannah. My mom was from Savannah. Oh. My mom left after my dad passed away. My mom married another man, and she passed away there in Savannah.
Okay.
Savannah, Georgia. That's an Army base there, and that worked out wonderful for her. She passed away with cervical cancer, but she was a wonderful person, and she always told me about. I used to have a great deal of hate for Klansmen, but you know what? When you're stupid, you're stupid. When you're ignorant, whether it's black, white, green, or yellow, you're stupid.
Right. You have to feel a little sorry for them, anyone who could believe
I
that.
feel sorry for anybody that hate.
Right.
I feel sorry for anybody that hate.
That lets hate consume their life to that extent. That'd be their motivator.
I can equate this.
Man, that was amazing.
When you're looking at a man
I wasn't worried my mother to death.
full of maggots,
When I was free.
and you got to scoop him up and put him in the bag. Now, he might have been from Mississippi, Georgia, Alabama, whatever. Might have been from New York, whether black or white.
Right.
What you doing? You know, just like I can't understand some of the issues that that Texas is talking about, succeeding from the Union.
Yeah,
How they're going to survive?
I've heard this.
How are they going to survive if they take that gate, that wall that's divided Mexico and Texas?
Right.
They don't know what's on the other side over there in Mexico, because every other ungodly thing is on that side. I've been to Mexico before.
Oh, really?
Some are in and everybody. Russia live over there.
Russia, really?
China live over there.
So that
I could
by
see
the
that,
time I got
actually.
before,
So
there were 12
if you take that gate down, you won't have no Texas. And they go on their own, you won't have no Texas. They'll be overrun in 15 minutes.
They're getting cocky over there for sure.
You can't do that. And that's the kind of thing about being by the military. I think right now,
around McGee Field,
all these racial issues,
to here.
the way it is now,
And
they need to bring back the
it
draft.
was amazing to me. I found
You wouldn't have that. You have them running
literally 5 cents the cost of a Coke
to Canada.
when I was aboard.
Right.
I didn't run.
Literally, a nickel a day, 5 cents.
You were just a little late,
I was late.
but
That's right.
but you were there.
That general told me, I went to his office. He said, oh, you outstanding, McDuffie. You pretty good little soldier. And in 6 months, I made Lance Corporal.
Oh, great.
In 6 months. I went in there, so what did I do now? What did I do? He said, no. So you here late. You say you, on your application, you say you were late. He started laughing. I said, I was late. I said, you know, I'm out here from Evergreen, Alabama, out here from Baker, Florida, and God knows where, from the bus station. Boy, each fella, all of them started making, and it kind of teased me off, because, being disadvantaged and poor where you come from sometimes. Sometimes you have a little tip on your shoulder. He said, I know you're mad now. I can look at your neck. How you neck. You see, you mad. He said, you mad. He said, but don't you know what late means? I said, yes, sir. I know what it means being late. He said, but I'm not no draft dodger. He said, well, that's good. That's good, and they got me some good conduct medals and all that stuff.
Good stuff.
I said, well, I would like a raise. You really bold now. Get out of my office. He did give me a raise, though.
Oh, good, good.
Sure did.
Yeah,
Sure did.
that's great.
And I really appreciated that, because hard work and
Some of them become business folks.
and
All of them were successful.
I can tell you this.
The 10 or 50 people that I found that went to school here.
I've had a real rough time,
The drugs.
but I tell you what, there's a higher power
Many of them
that rules everything, because I supposed to have been dead 20 years ago.
A couple times over, it seems like you really defied a lot of odds
And
for me to be here talking with you.
I had that heart, kidney problems, and then I operated up here 4 times from that.
White phosphorus.
It had just Doctor.
This was typical. Houston, Dallas.
Dr. Alexander, they did the operation 4 times, but them times that I had the heart attack, I didn't do it. And another lady that did my operation,
That wasn't going to happen.
I did not have any insurance at that time. That was in 2000.
Which was powerful. And that was
Her name, put it down, Dr. Martha Stewart,
It was the most logical place.
Sacred Heart Hospital. Helped save my life, and I love her wherever she is. If she ever see this, well, you doctor, I appreciate you, because I sure God didn't have no insurance.
Wow, and she just pro bono.
Yeah, she just did. She said, did you know I'm sitting up there drinking a cup of water? I said, man, I'm tired. And she went and she come back and she looked at my film. She said, you just had a heart attack. What, you sure you all right? I said, yeah.
Oh,
And she took me in there and she showed it to me the next day after they had calmed me down. Wow.
yeah.
Wow. And then in 2003, February 14, 2003, I stopped breathing.
Happy Valentine's Day. Wow. And that was, you said you were having, was that when you had cancer?
I had the cancer in the, they found the cancer later. In 2015, they found the cancer.
And was that lung cancer?
That was beginning.
Okay, early
I
stage.
had and then they put some stuff in me, Then they put the thing down my nose and down the side of my heart, down to my kidney. It affected my, I thought I was going to lose my prostate, but I didn't.
3 mile radius.
That's a rough one. My grandfather had prostate cancer also, and it's not a fun time.
Hello.
Held on to it.
You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Yeah,
I
mean,
do.
'cause I thought I was basically out of here. Because when that prostate, it affects you. You can't walk much.
Right.
Can't bend over much.
Oh, yeah.
And the doctor looked at me. Dr. Farrell, a Woodland medical specialist. He told me, he said, you, I said, yeah. He said, bend over. I bent over, touched my toe. He said, you. I said, what? And he said, you know, come here and show you this man right here. Now, this is what he is. He can't even move much.
Because
he's in a wheelchair. I'm blessed.
Yeah. Yeah, you're here walking around healthy.
That's why
Miss Lily.
and I was like,
I'm Miss Lily and Lillian's boy.
Oh, really?
I was like that.
Really?
But I'm just talking about the power of God gave me a 20-year-old body again. I'm saying to myself, I looked at my face, all them steroids, this prednisone, it just made it like a big old black pumpkin, eyes are just beady-eyed, I woke up one morning, I remember that I was blaming, I said, now, the Veterans Administration, they treated me wrong. They never tell me, because the compensation and pension people, they told me, after they had made the examination, they told me I didn't have nothing.
That you were 0% disabled?
They gave me a 0%. And then, what made it so bad, they cut that off. The pension they gave me, they cut it off. They said because they paid $1.5 million for my cancer operations and stuff. So they cut me off.
They said you're not allowed to have any more health problems. So
There you go.
that's crazy. A combat veteran.
Hey, you know what I get a month now?
What?
I'm waiting on them to write about me. I volunteer for this program. I live out of, besides my church helping me and a few other military people helping me, I live out $475 a month.
Wow, which
And that's
is
Social Security.
not enough.
And, way below.
I mean, everything, you'd have to use half of that on gas.
Toilet paper.
Yeah.
But anyway, like I said, when you're in a situation like this, you have to communicate. Once you don't communicate, you're dead.
Right.
See what I mean?
Right. You gotta let people know
and keep yourself alive. And keep yourself alive. Keep making a muscle.
You seem to be an expert in this area because you've really defied the odds.
I'm telling you, nobody but God did that.
Right. That's
I didn't do it.
That's true.
I didn't do it.
That's really powerful.
Leg, I was soft as butter. That radiation will mess you up.
I know.
That stuff had me soft as butter. See, I got firm thighs now.
Still have some.
Hallelujah. Firm thighs.
Yeah, I can walk around.
Got a muscle. I would just...
Some of that football muscle hung around.
Yeah, I feel good.
Oh, that's so great.
I feel good, but like the doctors say, you still need to be compensated. So I'm just work out. I'm not going to let you, just for the record. I'm not blowing up nothing. I ain't killing nobody. I'm not going to hurt nothing. I'm not going to do that. Because I tell you, ain't nothing like the good old US of A. See, I ain't mad at nobody. And like I was telling them ex-wives of mine, I ain't mad at you.
Yeah.
I love you, but I know going back, you just keep living and enjoy it, and really. Shoot, at my age, I feel good.
You have a lot of positivity for someone that's seen, I'm sure, some pretty tough things.
Yeah, shoot. Then when I go to the gym, I don't have to go around there coughing and carrying up like them other guys my age. I can pick up 350 pounds like that, young, and throw it.
Throw it down.
He gave me, yeah, God good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you don't got to be mad at nobody, but yeah, I did. I was kind of holding a grudge, so when they took my it was $1,790 they was getting, and I gave him a payment plan. You got utilities, you got your food, you got your rent. I lost my car, lost my home. Chance will make you lose everything.
Yeah,
I lost it.
We don't have
All my account, everything.
It's awful. It's awful. I've heard of other cancer survivors still suffering so much, not just from the disease, but from the financial.
Yeah, from the financial and the resentment. A couple of times, I went out to waterfront, and they didn't have no place in there. There was a Marine in there, another Marine guy in there. He said, "Oh, McDuffie, I'm gonna put you up. All right, I'm gonna get you another place." So they went and got me a place, and I finally got one of the Veterans Administration. They sent me a check, and I got a place where I'm staying now. Beautiful people, I have beautiful landlords, and I'm just waiting for to be reimbursed by the government, because they owe me. I'm not. You don't see me on television marching and calling, hey.
But you know, it's, and I think you can respect and love a country, but still see areas where it can improve. Just like with yourself, you know, you can say, I think I'm a good person, but I know I could do this better, and that's it's okay to say it. So I definitely agree. You're not the only veteran that I've heard with this problem, and I've heard some veterans who get told they have 0% disability, and then go back a couple years later, and they're like, oh no, you're 100% disabled. You know, they just sometimes the system screws up a little bit.
Yeah, it screws up a little bit. You know, like I said, I'm still disabled. You know, I've been, but I try to keep. I go in and I get me on little weights, but once you start to deteriorate and still one place and drop, you dead me.
Yeah, once you start sitting on the couch for more than half of the day, you'll just end up never leaving. Yeah, I've seen that happen too. Wow, you just have quite a life.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I had a lot of bills. Them two marriages, I had to pay for them. And the judge, you know, I'm kidding about that. You got bills, you got to pay them.
Yeah, that's tough. How many kids do you have?
I have 2 kids.
Okay, great. Are they in Pensacola or?
They all grown. Miami, and one is in California.
Oh wow. Okay.
They grown.
Cool. Yeah.
And Daddy, I know I'm not staying with you. No, I love them, but you know.
Yeah.
You know, but
go their own way.
Yeah. I have 2 kids and my babies, and my son and my daughter. My daughter, she is, I believe she used to be a policeman. I think she went down at administration. She graduated, I think, FSU or Florida State. I'm not for sure, but she graduated from one of them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But other than that, if I could have repaired that with Mom, I think that would have been a great thing. But in life, it works like that sometimes.
You had a lot of battles.
Yeah, a lot of battles.
And you can't win them all.
You can't win them. Hey, just to be alive.
Right, is a victory. It really is.
And to be in your right mind.
I wanted to ask you about that. Did you struggle? I know you've had physical repercussions from your service, but were there also mental challenges when you came back to the United States?
Yeah, not being able to, for the first 2 years after I got out, after I got out of reserve, I couldn't get a job because you got that Vietnam thing.
The stigma.
You got that Vietnam stigma thing. Oh, he gonna come in and kill. It wasn't like that. It was like that with me with other white and black brothers. They couldn't get it. So what they did, they resorted to what they did while I was in the military, getting drunk. Yeah,
Right.
some of them get dangerous. Some of them do stuff. And I had one guy. He tried to. He did run a business. Had folks there.
Asian kids and others,
He got himself in a lot of bills, and he couldn't handle it, so they sent him off to post-traumatic stress. I think they sent him to Concord, California.
For services, for treatment?
Yeah, you got some people is stone cold killers.
Sure.
And once they make your evaluation, they send you someplace, you know. You might see them a year, might see them, and then some of you may not never see them again. Because when you snap, you know, I had some post-traumatic stress problems there, but it wasn't to attack nobody. It was basically self-pity at the time. And when people look at you, you're just dangerous. You know, when folks look at you like, time you tell them, time you know, and then, oh yeah, I remember when I was in the fire department, a guy told me, he said, I don't think they just done something to me. It went all over me. And he said, I don't think you black veterans should not be in the military nowhere but with a bunch of AIDS. You don't need to, I don't think you're going to work out this fire department. I said, just try me. All of us went through because we took care of each other and we knew what it had to take because, you know, once they give you the, you know, in the fire department, they're going to give you an evaluation anyway. They'll give you a mental evaluation, health evaluation.
Right, to make sure.
And anyway, but you have to sometimes marginalize yourself against racial issues. You have to just, well, I'm gonna take that, I'm gonna swallow this pill. But on this corner, on the other corner, don't do that no more, or you're gonna have problems. So that's why I had to equate my life. You know, just like I know when I went to the court, I just say, get all to it. I don't want anything, I don't want any repercussions. That's what I did. That's what I had to do to keep down because of being who I am, being a small issue of being black, and a small issue of being armed, trained military personnel type people. Anytime you train in weapons or any type of, whether it's psychological or what, they're going to keep you on taps.
Right.
You see what I mean?
Right. To make sure.
And I've been through a lot of problems, you know, especially in the neighborhood. I went to some neighbors and like naturally you move in the neighborhood and you know how that goes.
Right, right. Are you talking about moving into a predominantly white neighborhood or just?
Now, it's even worse. It's even worse. The black neighborhood you move in, same problems.
Mm-hmm.
So who's the better?
Right.
And while we at that, in order for all of America, especially if you've been in the military before, you have got to learn the order of the way the system has been designed. 400 years it's been designed.
Right.
It's baked in now. That kind of racism has been baked into us. It's baked in white and whites. And where do we come to a
systems.
common ground?
It usually had either Fridays or
See, it's like at church, at Marcus Point. I just this white lady,
large
white girl.
stove that they use coal and wood.
Yeah, she is 30 years. I said, you know how old I am? She said, I don't know. She said, I'm in love with you. I said, stop that. No, I'm serious. Hey, look, so I had to take it to the pastor.
It was a large stove. If you look at
Pastor Toaston now, you had to calm down
tongue groove means that the wood,
because, you know, you got some people ain't gonna like what you're doing.
like I said, that one was a large part.
Even though this is a church now, he telling you the truth. Now, you know, he's a middle-aged man there now.
They would come
Now, you know
I remember
how that gonna go.
I remember
But,
they had the pledge,
look,
and someone corrected me the other day and said,
most of the people have been domesticated.
under God was that
Domestication is one of the most strongest things in this world,
the father flag.
is domestication. If I can domesticate your mind wrongfully, I got you.
Right.
But when you find out the truth, that's when you have repercussion. You can miss all of the stuff in you want. Now, she used to tell me, I used to be a hater. Yeah, I'm gonna be through just a second. Yeah. So I'm friends with everybody. I'll listen, I'll talk,
Actual children movie. So they actually
and I would like
exercise
for not only
you march
her to understand what's going on
dance
in life.
whatever. That was a part.
At a certain situation, some things you can't straighten out.
Someone would read a Bible verse.
You see what I'm saying?
Right, like in that situation.
Yeah, and even though it's military, we all fought the same,
But it was
but
throughout the
sometimes you have to shake and bake people.
That's what I remember.
Right.
I remember school was fun.
That's the way you do a thing. Sometimes grandma used to say, don't let your left hand know what your right hand doing.
Really, I've never heard that expression before. Don't let your left hand do what your right hand's do.
Don't let your left hand know what your right hand doing.
Okay.
Same way as people. Certain people you can't let you know what you're doing. Whether it's good or bad, they're going to have some ramifications.
Right, right.
So that's what it is. But I thank you for the interview.
Oh, this has been wonderful.
I really,
so
you know,
much.
you're very easy to get along with. You got a sweet spirit.
Thank you. I think you are a great interviewee. I think a lot of people are really have a hard time opening up about this stuff, so I try and make people as comfortable as they can. But I really appreciate you sharing all this because I know it's not easy. A lot of these things that you went through are really traumatic.
I mean, you know,
I really
you gotta
appreciate
rise
it.
above those things.
Yeah.
You know, and if I can pass that knowledge on to you, and you advance, hallelujah anyhow.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Well,
I'm gonna hold you to come to church.
I would love to. I really would. I used to go to Grace Lutheran when I lived in Pensacola, but my family doesn't go there anymore. They go to Olive Baptist sometimes and stuff. But I don't really like it too much. So not that
You
there's
got a
anything.
card on?
I don't have a business card yet, but I could give you my.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, I'll give you my number. That'd be great.
And give me your name and phone number. I put it on the list.
Absolutely. I would love that. Be great.
Yeah.
I think, don't y'all do like a, I'm just gonna put it on this piece of paper. Don't you guys do like a Christmas reenactment thing there
Yeah,
too? I think I remember going to that one year.
Yeah, they open up another campus too, and they taking up
Teach a lesson on the spur.
volunteers, and they're hiring people there too.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Yeah, I know my family's looking for a church that they really
Well, they'll like Pastor
resonate
Godfrey.
with.
Yeah, they'll like it because he's just gonna give you, like we say, keeping it real.
I like that.
Yeah, Pastor Godfrey gonna say, hey, you got to keep it real.
Well, it seems like a pretty cool group of people over there.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Sure.
yeah. I mean, diverse. Some of them even more had more problems than I had, but they all good. They're all good. Everybody processing.
Some people talk
things differently, that's for sure.
And I'm gonna give you my saying. This is for me.
Okay.
You can write it down.
Oh, I will. I got a little room left.
Write it down.
Okay.
Know this and study on this. Love is never yellow.
Love is
Never yellow.
Love is never yellow.
Think about it. Something you need to think about.
That is
Keep you
one to
well.
think about. I said that is one to think about.
Think about
Gotta
it.
wrap my brain around that a little.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you? Can I ask, or is it?
No, I mean that's for anybody.
Okay.
Just think about it.
Okay. I will.
You know when people say I never change on you. You ever seen these hearts? They red, right?
Right.
But when that red heart turned yellow, you got a problem.
Right. Okay. I see.
You got me?
I do. Yeah. And so, if it's right, that doesn't happen. Here you go.
I'll give it to
My
you.
phone number, email, my name's at the bottom.
Okay.
And I need to make a business card, I really do.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, I would love to come see Marcus
Yeah,
Point. It's been quite a while since I've been out there.
Yeah, I'll call the assistant pastor and tell him I've got a potential member.
Great.
Yeah, they got a lot of people out there, all ages. They got old, senior citizens, in between, anything that's gonna fit you.
Cool.
Yeah.
And it sounds like a pretty diverse group there.
Yeah, it's a pretty diverse group.
That's cool.
You're used to, until he had to weed some of them out. He was telling them, say, all you racists, y'all at the door.
Yeah, better.
It's time to go.
Especially when you're in a house of love like that. Let me go ahead and formally end the interview and just say thank you on my behalf, the Oral History Program's behalf, and Library of Congress.
Thank you.
So wonderful.
Okay. I have this special project. It basically comes from my grandfather. And it's called the Tuskegee Adams Red Tail Football Club, USA. I'm currently starting a NFL football team in the state of Alabama, out of Tuskegee and Montgomery, Alabama.
Wow.
I've talked to Mr. Roger Goodell on that development, and I'm going to start expediting it next week on Blab TV and MSNBC.
I will tune in for that MSNBC.
And Blab TV.
Yeah, I got that down. That is really
Tuskegee
cool.
Airmen Red Tail Football Club. Look out, Green Bay Packers.
Yeah,
Look
y'all.
out, NFL.
I'll see you winning the national championship soon, because that's a seriously strong group of people to represent. So that is super cool. Super
I'm
cool.
recruiting. We start recruiting members of the administration next month.
And this area's got great talent too. So you'll be able to find, I'm sure, some really great people.
Most of the talent will come from the HBCUs.
Okay.
Since most of the big schools like University of Alabama, most of them, they get most of the players to the NFL. I believe that me being in the NFL and entertaining, we would just be more than a football team. We're going to be educators.
Sure. Well, people will start asking, well, where does that name come from? What's that about?
Tuskegee.
Make it, because it already is becoming a household name, but I'm sure there are still plenty of people out there who don't know a thing about what the Tuskegee Airmen were doing.
Looking at the founder right here.
Right.
You can go on you can Google it. My name will be on there, Joseph McDuffie.
Cool. Yes, I absolutely will.
The original is under the state of Alabama, the original Tuskegee Adams Red Tail Football Club, USA.
Got down. That is cool. I'm going to look out for those. Are you doing interviews then on
we'll
Blab
be doing,
TV?
once we get the attorneys to set up all the The interviews, it's going to be like the Green Bay Packers. They're a community team. So we're going to be a community team. We're going to do some interesting things, innovative things like housing, development. If you come to a football game, 1 hour games, you get a house on the spot for each game.
That's what we should be doing with the money.
And then on the tickets that we have you pay your Social Security. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, use it for good, because right now there's so much money tied up in football, but it just goes to, you know, these coaches getting their
all the coaches and the big shots.
So
we're going to give the, especially the military. If you're in the military, 9 times out of 10, once we get the budget intact, I turned down a lot of offers because of stronghold loans and investors. I don't want no stronghold investors, because, you know, you
they'll
get
try
it.
and take it over.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're going to get the military, all the military, working on that now, so we can get that done.
Yes, that is so cool.
Tuskegee Airmen Red Tails Football Club USA, out of the state of Alabama. Alabama doesn't have an NFL football team. It has a good college football team.
I guess they don't.
No, they don't have an NFL football team.
I'd never really observed that before, but man.
We're going to do that.
Well, they will soon. That is cool. That is really cool.
That'll get that done.
All right. Well.
All right, thank you.
All right, back off the record.